Darren Walker has spent much of his life fighting inequality. From humble beginnings in rural Texas, he went on to lead one of the nation's most powerful philanthropic institutions, overseeing billions in funding to address some of the country's most pressing crises. Walker is now nearing the end of his tenure as president of the Ford Foundation and is out with a new book called The Idea of America: Reflections on Inequality, Democracy, and the Values We Share. And Darren Walker joins me now. We should note as well that the Ford Foundation is a funder of PBS News. Darren, welcome back to the News Hour. Thanks for joining us.
Delighted to be here.
There are a number of themes throughout this collection of nearly 100 essays and speeches and other remarks you've made over the last 12 years. One is this idea of how you see the world and how you lead, and that it's all deeply defined by where you come from. So tell me about how your beginnings came to define where you are now and how you see the world.
Well, this book is really a love letter to America, to the country that made possible my improbable journey, and a country like no other in the world, where a boy born to a single mother in a charity hospital in rural Louisiana could grow up dreaming and believing that dreams, if I worked hard, if I could sacrifice, and if I had ambition and humility and held on to that dream, that indeed my American dream could become a reality, and that has happened. The Idea of America, the title of my book, is among the most tested and contested words in American history. The idea of America meant many different things to our founding fathers, but they had a shared belief, a set of principles and values that they documented in our founding documents that today we need to be mindful of and return to as we grapple with the unprecedented levels of polarization that we see in our country today.
And as we speak, we should note America is also at a time of growing inequality. It's an inequality you've worked hard to address over your time at the Ford Foundation. But you do write in one of your pieces in the book that this tension is plain to see. Our systems in America perpetuate vast differences in privilege and then task the privileged, all of us, with improving the systems that benefit us. So, Darren, what is the role of philanthropy in all of this? I mean, you write that it can't save America. So what should be the goal and the mission of philanthropy right now?
Well, I'm inspired by the words of Dr. Martin Luther King, who wrote about philanthropy the following: philanthropy is commendable, but it should not allow the philanthropist to overlook the economic injustice which makes philanthropy necessary. And so what Dr. King was calling us to was to examine our own culpability, our own complicity and engagement in creating some of the very challenges we seek through philanthropy to solve. And what I mean by that is looking at how our own behaviors, whether it's our investments, whether it's our way we treat the climate, the environment, et cetera, how that contributes to some of the problems of poverty and inequality. You know, the reality of our country is that hope is the oxygen of democracy. We today, unfortunately, have a crisis of hope in America. Now is the time to roll up our sleeves and be committed to whatever our identities are. I am Black, I am gay. Yes, those are my identities. But the most important identity is that I am an American. And we Americans share a set of values. We have very different views about many things. But we, as our founding fathers reminded us, we must share the values of consensus building, of engagement, of understanding that ultimately compromise is necessary for democracy to continue to sustain, to be vibrant.
Darren, a lot of those goals feel very distant to people at a time of such deep divisions in America right now. And your New Year's message in 2017, this was just weeks before Donald Trump was sworn into office for the first time, that message was titled, "Let America Be America Again." And you talk about a tension, as you write, between a sense that our times are dangerously unprecedented and a sense that while dangerous, they are all too familiar. So are we just repeating old cycles here? How do you see this?
Well, there's no doubt that there are cycles of progress and regress in our history. But the one consistent theme in American history is that there have been patriots, people who love their country, who love this country. Fannie Lou Hamer loved America, even though in her lifetime she knew that she would never see the justice that she hoped for. And yet she carried that flag across rural roads of Mississippi and Alabama to Washington, D.C. She believed in America as Langston Hughes did in his great poem, Let America Be America Again, which begins with, "Let America be America again. America never was America to me." He is expressing his anger, his rage at being a Black man who is marginalized in the 1930s living in Harlem. And yet he ends the poem with the stanza, "But oh, someday America will be." He believed in America. And today, when some people feel hopeless and feel depressed, I'm inspired because Langston Hughes and Fannie Lou Hamer and so many others call out to me to help this country, to do what I can to contribute to ensuring that the words in our founding documents, that inequality and justice for all is our North Star, that e pluribus unum is indeed possible. So yes, I may sound naive, but I love my country. I am not prepared to give up on America, and I hope others will join me in this pursuit.
Your message of radical hope is one I think many of us could use right now. That book is The Idea of America, and the author is Darren Walker. Darren, thank you so much. Pleasure to speak with you.
Thank you.